Yo, what's up guys? We got pokeaimMD here. Today we had a new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with a lot of new information. Now, this is all officially revealed information. Of course, I'll be giving my thoughts on it, joined by Edgar. He can say hi.
Hello.
But for those that do not want to be spoiled on, well, I mean, the starters are right there. Everything's already officially released, but everybody considers different things spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, obviously click off the video right now. Leave a like though before you click off because I was nice enough to tell you this. But if you don't want to be spoiled, obviously click off. But we'll be going through the new legendary Pokemon we saw today, the 3 new Pokemon we saw today, some of the new stuff with the game itself, and just giving our general thoughts on the typings and abilities which they actually ended up giving us for some of the Pokemon. So if you guys do enjoy this, of course, leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you guys want to support my channel and plan on pre-ordering the games through Best Buy and you live in the US, feel free to use my Best Buy affiliate link down below. You can actually buy anything from that, but you can pre-order Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I know some people were waiting for the legendary Pokemon, so if you want to pre-order, that link is down below, and you do support me directly by doing that. So without further ado, let us get right into this. So there's new Pokemon here, and we're going to be going through it all. First off, we have the cover art now, which looks really nice for Scarlet and Violet. I'm going to get Scarlet. You said you're going to get Scarlet too, right?
Yeah, Scarlet, for sure.
I'm super into Scarlet. There were leaks as well about the typings of the legendaries, and I think we'll get into that super quick first because they're right here. So we have the new legendary Pokemon, Koraidon and Miraidon. So Mirai, if I remember from my anime phases during high school, Mirai something was like Future Diary. So people were saying that this could be potentially about, first off, I love the way they look, but people were saying that this could be potentially, the gimmick could be something that have to do with time, which would be insane, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we have Koraidon and Miraidon. What do you think about them, Edgar?
Well, first of all, the name Mirai or Mirai is future in Japan.
Yep.
In Japan.
Yep, literally. So yeah.
It definitely has to do with that. I think they look pretty cool. I think it's definitely something I would want the legendaries to look like, and I think they distinct themselves pretty well, and like they just look so sick. Like they're ready to fight, bro. Like,
yeah, they legitimately look like they'd be legendary Pokemon. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
Now there were leaks from the Riddler saying that the legendary Pokemons from this generation will be Dragon Fighting and Dragon Electric, and honestly, Miraidon 100% looks Dragon Electric. Right? Like I can 100% G Dragon Electric. The one on the left, you could argue Dragon and Fire, but I think Fighting makes sense too, just by the power on its chest, its whole the long thing on its head that I forget the name of, but it's not a tail on its head, obviously. But it does look like a fighting type as well. You could argue that it looks like a fighting type. So Dragon Fighting is it's incredible, right? It's incredible. It actually would have been broken before Generation 6, which is why we got Como in after Sylveon and Fairy types were released. But basically Dragon Fighting and Dragon Electric both really good. We have, again, both of those. Dragon Electric, we have Zekrom, and then Dragon Fighting, we have Como. I like both of them. I think with coverage it's going to be amazing too. Electric is just good, right? It's like flying almost, right? Because there's, flying is amazing, even though there's very key resistances like steel that are around, but electric is just as good. Like, it's incredible. Only has 1 immunity, which is nice, and with Dragon, it's gonna be nice. So just being able to hit those fairy types, I think, is really cool. But let me know your thoughts on that. Do you guys think that they're gonna be Dragon Fighting and Dragon Electric? It just says they're legendary Pokemon you can meet in Pokemon Scarlet. Mirai's legendary you can meet in Pokemon Violet. These Pokemon are said to have powers that far surpass those of other Pokemon, but details about them are still shrouded in mystery. So we'll get that eventually, right? Personally, Edgar, I know you are an Ubers player. Do you want these to be anything like Zacian? Honestly.
I don't think they. First of all, there's the Dragon Fighting one. First of all, it's gonna be walled by Cernius, so it's hardly gonna be a Zacian. It's probably gonna be a Samacenta, or if anything.
Okay, come on, don't make it that bad.
But I think at least they're gonna give it Poison Jab or something, and Swords.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a fighting type. If it is actually Dragon Fighting, it'll definitely get Iron Head, Poison Jab, whatever. Gunk Shot. Gunk Shot would be best. Gunk Shot would literally do it.
Gunk Shot. It definitely could. It definitely looks like he could use Gunk Shot.
Yeah, it looks like it comes out of it's like the little throat area, like a frog almost. You know what I mean? Like, obviously it's not, or like an iguana. Excuse me.
Yeah, dude. Oh, dude, it looks so sick.
Yeah.
I also think that Huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I also think they might have another form, because if you look at their chest, like the what's his name, Koraidon,
Okay.
looks like he has a wheel on
Yeah,
his chest.
I agree.
And the other guy, Miraidon, has like jet propellers.
Yeah, on the back. So I think I agree
So
completely with you.
this is like just a placeholder form, but they have like a faster
A secondary form. I agree completely with you. I agree completely, and I would even argue, like you said, the Dragon Electric. Well, we're just Miraidon would probably be, like you said, faster, and I would argue that the one on the left will be stronger. Like, that's it, and probably a little bit faster as well. So I'm also willing to bet, like with Edgar, that they definitely have forms. I can't show it up in the trailer right now because I'm not trying to get copyright, but it was so sick, the reveal for this, guys. If you have not checked the trailer on Pokemon, it was really sick. The reveal just for the legendaries. The legendaries.
Yeah, they look pretty sick. Yeah. I think personally, I think Miraidon has a lot more potential, just because Zekrom as a Pokemon, like the stab moves that it gets, just the pure stab moves that it gets have been like so consistent over the years. And the only thing it needed was like a little bit more speed, and if this Pokemon has that, they might have an ability like I don't want to say speed boost, but something that gives them like +2 or +1 speed, like right off the bat. That would be pretty sick.
Ooh, then that's what I was saying. If you think it'd be like Zacian, because if the one on the left had +1 attack from the beginning, I think that would be really, 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 really like frustrating. I did just disconnect from Discord. My internet's been acting up today, but it'll be back in a sec. But I think one thing I also wanted to say is that I think that for Miraidon to be, really, really good, I think it has to depend if it's physical or special. Now, typically the legendaries have really good stats on both sides of the offensive. When they're offensive, they have both stats like usually good, even if one's like 140 versus 120. But I think, being potentially walled by a Blissey in the Ubers tier and things like that can really hurt you. But we'll be right back. One second. All right, guys, I got disconnected. But you were saying that Zekrom with more speed would be good?
Yeah, like basically, so I think these Pokemon, like these two, might get an ability like Zacian and Samacenta that boosted like a certain stat, but in this time, like they boost they give them like +1 or +2 speed. So even if they are not that fast, I think they could have like an ability like that, or at least like Motor Drive or Flash Fire, like I don't know, dude, like 0.2, like version 2.
Yeah.
And
go on.
And like and like Zekrom with more speed, if this ends up being electric type, like Zekrom with more speed, like is so deadly, because just it's two like stab moves or stab types, I guess, like are so good against everything in Ubers. Like you require very, very specific stuff to actually check it, because a lot of the current Ubers metagame is either like destroyed by a really strong electric type or a pretty strong dragon type.
Yeah, and for those that don't know what Ubers is, basically the tier where all the legendaries are allowed. So think of Groudon, think of Xerneas, Kyogre, Zacian, etc. Well, not Zacian. Zacian's banned. But I was also saying before we get disconnected, well, people heard me, but how I think it also depends on if this thing, Dragon Electric, is a special or physical. Now, legendaries always have good stats all around, right? It's always like if they're like unless they're like Deoxys forms, which are specific towards what it is. But a legendary will usually, if it's enough physical attacker, it'll have like base 150 attack and then 120 special attack, so it'll still be plausible to be mixed. So I was saying that I think it depends on this thing is physical or special, because if you're completely walled by, let's say, a Blissey with the inability to beat it, like that will definitely hinder your Uber's viability. But whereas in Zekrom's case, it has Dragon Dance now and Roost and things, so it has a lot of options. But I think that's enough about the legendaries, guys. Give us your thoughts on that. We're going to be moving forward. So next up, we have what we're assuming is the new Pikachu, Pawmi, because it's the mouse-type Pokemon, and it is the electric mouse-type Pokemon. Now, I think in the trailer itself, it was kind of hard to see that it was supposed to be like a Pikachu-esque thing, like a Pikachu clone. But in this, it looks more like one for sure. And that I was thinking it was more like Bolton early on or anything like that. I guess it still could be. Technically. This could also be the early Route 1 mouse type of thing, like the Sentret, the Rattata. But I feel like the other Pokemon we're talking about, the best Pokemon name we ever had besides Basculegion, which you guys will see real soon, is cool. But the electric type with static and natural cure. I really like natural cure on electric types, specifically because electric types typically come in, and then obviously this is the baby form, so it's going to evolve into something, but I really like natural cure on electric types on an electric type because electric types will typically be switching into water types, and one of the most common water moves and one of the best water moves is Scald because it has a chance to burn 30%, right? So the ability to have natural cure, especially if you take that going forward, is always good. I don't think static will make too much of a difference on a Pikachu clone, mainly because, well, first off, this could also be its only form, right? Right? If this is a Pikachu clone, it might not evolve for the most part because the only Pikachu clone that evolved, or the only Pikachu that evolved was Pikachu, right? Togedemaru doesn't evolve, Plus Minor doesn't evolve, etc. So from what I remember, I could be there. Somebody's probably typing, no, dude, there was this Pikachu down below, but whatever. I guess if you want to say marrow in them, but so natural cure makes a lot more. Is usually better because the Pikachu clones are not typically, and again, this doesn't have to be it, but this is assuming it is. Just follow me. Natural cure is better because the Pikachu clones are typically not that bulky, right? They're not that. You might see like special defensive Togedemaru in the NU tier because it has Wish plus Spiky Shield, but they're typically not anything crazy like that. So natural cure is just better for an in and out like type of hitter, whereas static is usually better if you're taking hits. But if you're taking a hit with this Pokemon, you're probably gonna die, type of thing. Like this mon's probably gonna die. But in addition to the electric sacs on his cheeks, Pawmi has electricity discharging organs on his forepaws. It generates electricity by rubbing its cheeks. Then it shocks its opponents by touching them with the pads on its paw. Well, little reference to static. Not only is this fur that covers the body good insulation against the cold, but it also serves the purpose of storing electricity. When it feels uneasy, this cautious Pokemon will begin rubbing its cheeks, preparing itself to discharge an electric shock. Again, it kind of looks like it will evolve though, Edgar. Like, what do you think?
I think it might evolve because also the rival had it. Like, I don't think they would give that like a fully evolved Pokemon to fight you in the first battle. Like, it's gotta scale up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Like it feels like more like the early route Shinx, the early route Bolton than like.
I could
go on.
I could be wrong though because the rival always throws in the first battle.
You're right. They have a chance to knock you out with Scratch, and they go for like Defense Curl or something. They do always throw. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Do you think this is the actual Pikachu clone? Do you think this is like the early thing and it'll evolve? If it does evolve, and it goes from natural cure, I can see it having its body's good insulation against the cold, but it also serves purpose of storing electricity. I can see it happening something like thick fat going forward too, if it does end up evolving. Otherwise, if it's a Pikachu clone, maybe it'd be the first Pikachu clone that evolves as well. But we did see early route Pokemon, and this could just be, like I said, this could just be another one of those. But it being the mouse Pokemon, it's saying category as mouse Pokemon is what's throwing me off, personally. And then we have the greatest Pokemon name of all time. Go ahead and tell him, Edgar.
Lechonk, bro. Lechonk. Listen, man, you wouldn't hear a better name. You thought Fuecoco was fire?
Fuecoco,
bro?
Basculegion, but Lechonk? Dude, these names are hitting, bro. These names are hitting. It's so good. Tell them why it's so good if you got, for those that don't know Spanish.
All right, so basically Lechon is a baby pig in Spanish. So they're taking a lot of inspiration from Spanish names, which I really like because they are doing a very clever job at that.
Yep.
With Sprigatito, Fuecoco, bro. They are doing their research. They definitely have native Spanish speakers in there.
I agree. Oh, bro, when it... Dude, I can already think of some names when it evolves. It'd be like... I'm trying to think, like, how would you say it in a way that's, like, easier to everybody to pronounce. Like... Oh, let me just type it in the Discord. Like this. Imagine it evolves into that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so... I was just thinking about, like, all the Thanksgivings and Christmases, what we have with our family to eat. But it's the hog Pokemon. Its typing is normal. So normal, not always the greatest. But then you have like some exceptions, of course, Snorlax, Blissey. But on those guys, normal is, as a pure type, normal is only good because of what they bring to the table, right? Lax is good all around stats. Blissey is a special wall, etc. But we see Aromavale and Gluttony. Aromavale is very, very interesting, I think. Gluttony's really cool too, but Gluttony makes sense, right? It's a pig. But
yeah.
Aromavale is interesting because let's actually put the Pokemon that we have Aromavale on. If we filter by Aromavale, this is something that's only specific to fairies, right?
Yeah.
So this pig could end up evolving into either a pure fairy or normal fairy type of thing. I think that's just something to keep in mind in the back of your head that, okay, so Aromavale is something for fairies. And Aromavale is cool because it can't be Encore, it can't be Taunted, Tormented. You see it right here, Disabled, Attracted, Heal, Blocked. So that would be an interesting thing, a normal fairy. Normal fairy's solid typing, right? We have Wigglytuff, which already has that. And now I know Wigglytuff isn't the best example when I say solid typing, but think of it like this. Dragapult is one of the best Pokemon in Sword and Shield OU, and in Sword and Shield in general. Wigglytuff, Walls, it's Dragon, and it's Ghost typing. So it's interesting. So if you have like a really bulky normal fairy, it doesn't look like it's going to be weak either, right? It doesn't look like it's going to be weak.
I was kind of, well, we haven't seen its evolution.
Yeah.
But I think in its evolution, it's probably, if it's gonna be like fairy, like a big boar, they might give him reckless and like it's gonna have like double edge, and probably like if they implement like a double edge type move for fairy type, that would be pretty cool.
Like a recoil type move for fairy types. Yeah. I like that idea. They have Light of Ruin, but there's no way that's something it gets. Yeah. But it also is timid and faint-hearted, but also strong. If attacked by an opponent and startled, it would charge forward in a panic, which is very, that's what boars do, right? It may appear fat at first glance, but in reality, the Pokemon's body is mostly muscle, built by constantly walking around in search of food. Like, almost reminds me of Emboar. I'm assuming it's going to be maybe, what's this timid and faint-hearted? But I'm confusing timid with what actual timid means. I'm thinking about the timid speed stat versus what actually timid means. That's stupid Pokemon, man. That's why I call arachnids now. It's like all over there. But yeah, so definitely I think it's going to be a very powerful, I think it's going to be Emboar-esque. I don't think it's going to be that fast personally. But I do really see the fairy typing for sure. I don't know if there's any flying pigs lore over there either, but...
Oh my god. Or maybe its ability is going to be like rattled, that it gets hit by like a bug type, dog type, and it resists and if it evolves to a fairy type, like it resists both of those things.
So be able to have it, and because you took it, you startled it, you rattled it. Okay, you got it riled up. Okay, I like that. That's an interesting thing. That's a really interesting concept. I like that. So cool name. Definitely wanted to evolve into a pork chop or something, but. So then we have a few other things, and then we'll go over a few other things as well. But so World Pokemon, the newest chapters in Pokemon series are coming to Nintendo Switch later this year. November 18th, by the way, is release date. So those that don't know, November 18th will be the release date. And we already know it's a new style. You're free to explore at leisure, not in order dictated by the story. You will, of course, journey to hone your skills as a Pokemon trainer, but many more discoveries and stories await you. So we saw some Pokemon. We did see Toxapex confirmed.
No.
OU players, Toxapex and Blissey are both, I'm pretty sure, confirmed. So, we're not going to avoid Toxapex this year. And I'm saying that because we're assuming that... Oh, I forgot the other Pokemon, but we'll go to that in a second. But I'm saying that because we're assuming that... I don't want to assume, but I don't think it'd be a National Dex thing, right? Like, going forward, I can't see them always bringing that back. So... if it is more of a cut dex type of thing, Toxapex has still managed to make it, and so is Shelder. But let me go back to what I was looking at. But where the hell did I just put that? Here it is. So, a deeper experience with multiplayer gameplay, and I like this. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet allow multiplayer gameplay with up to 4 players. Along with series staples such as trading and battling Pokemon, you will be able to explore the various locations of the region in these games with other players. You can discover new Pokemon and explore unfamiliar areas with your friends and family, opening the door to an adventure more precious and fun than before. Now, this is completely different than Sword and Shield. In Sword and Shield, you could do dungeons and stuff together, but this is different. It actually showed 4 people coming in and just splitting apart. So it's like, it's more like a Xenoverse type of thing or whatever. I don't know. Like, where you can come into my world, and I'm assuming it's also different than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, because Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee is technically multiplayer, but it wasn't really. You just sat there and you can control certain things about the Pokemon, but you had to follow one person who was walking around, right? For the most part. So this is going to be more events. I like that for Pokemon. I like the idea of being able to play with people. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of online thing with that too. Another thing that this has added, which I think was pretty cool. They basically have a gas station, right? It looks like it's Pokemon Center. It looks like it's Pokemon Mart. You can buy stuff. It has ads around it too. There was a skateboard on it as well. But yeah, it looks like everybody can have their Pokemon follow around them. We saw the way you catch Pokemon looked very similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus. It looks very similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus. The way the person chucked the Pokeball. Don't quote me on that. But yep. All right, let's show the last Pokemon. Nice little Smoliv, Smoliv, the small olive. It is a grass and normal type with the ability Early Bird. What do you think about this Pokemon, Edgar?
I think it's probably gonna be like the oddish of this generation or something like that.
Yeah, like
or
Oddish,
like the
Badoo.
Serena.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I think I wanted something like if it's a fire type, that would be pretty sick because it does say like it spends a lot of time in the sun.
Yeah.
Sunbathing.
Yeah, I can see that too. Like in Safruna's head, Smoliv stores oil made from nutrients it gathers through photosynthesis. As a result, it can go for a week without eating or drinking. It prefers dry and sunny climates, and it seems to spend its days sunbathing. So, I mean, chlorophyll obviously is a great ability. Solar power stuff going forward. We do see Early Bird, but yeah, we were talking about maybe this olive evolves into the first grass and fire type that we have. Now, I would have loved some Flora to get a regional form with grass and fire type, but it'd be really cool to have a grass and fire type. That'd be great offensive typing. Grass normal is whatever, not really the greatest. Like, grass isn't like the strongest by itself ever, but then you have like super strong grass types like Rillaboom, which are good because of their coverage and its broken ability with its move, Grassy Glide. And then you have like Ferrothorn and Kartana, which are grass types, but they're steel types, which is what makes them crazy too. So grass is never really too good alone. Grass normal isn't the greatest really either. You're weak to U-turn. You're immune to ghost, but you're still weak to fire. You just added on a fighting weakness. So not the greatest. But if it evolves into something, like if you're thinking grass and fire, guys, let us know your thoughts as well. Do you think grass and fire could be a thing? It also apparently has like a bitter taste and it can make people flinch. So you were thinking like a stench type of thing, which I think makes a lot of sense for it, or like a Serene Grace.
Yeah. I think also I think stench is a very big possibility. Like if it uses like projectile moves, like it can make you flinch or have like a very weak chance to flinch.
Yeah.
If it evolves into a fire move, I think into a fire type Pokemon, I think it could they could also give him Flash Fire as a hidden ability.
Which would be amazing for grass fire type.
Yeah.
That'd be incredible, yeah. Because you're neutral to water, you'd be immune to fire. Grass, you're resist. That'd be really good. That's why I like grass fire. I like it a lot. So that'd be a pretty cool option for it too. I'm still thinking maybe like a solar power type of thing as well, because I feel like that's the people that like the dry climates and stuff. Like, think of Heliolisk, has dry skin and solar power type of thing. So I'm really thinking that. But we did get one more. What looks like one more Pokemon. Now, not the boy. Science hasn't gone that far. Science hasn't gone that far. But on the boy's shirt, looks like some version of Tauros or an evolution of Tauros, right? It looks too much like Tauros to do anything. And I mean, in the lore, you know, the bull runs, all that stuff. You guys, all about. This is definitely something we could see. And there was also leaks about there being a fighting version of Tauros as well, which I think is also really on point. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get a Tauros version? Do you think we're going to... This is definitely Tauros, right? Like
yeah,
I mean, we can look at Tauros. We can look at Tauros right now.
Yeah,
this has to be Tauros, dude.
I don't think they would make they would give him an evolution, because then they would have to give Miltank an evolution as well. Yeah,
and it's for sure not actually Tauros too, because you see the 3 dots here, right? It has the 3 dots, but Tauros doesn't have... Tauros's horns don't look just like that with the... Like, you'd be able to see the back part, I feel like, too.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, you don't see this little strap around Tauros's face too much. Its entire thing is a different color. I think it makes a difference. I think it is Tauros for sure.
Yeah, like I think it is too. I definitely think it's like a regional form.
Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I really think so. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on that. And then we have 2 different professors here, which actually have to go into the lore, I think, with the legendaries. but depending on which version of the game you try to play, you have the cave woman and you have the futuristic dude. That's literally how they're. You have Shady Penguin on the right. This is 100% Shady Penguin from the future, and you have the cave woman on the left. So, Professor Sada and Professor Toro. Now, each is carrying out research in certain lore passed down its region. Oh, they didn't give us anything else. So I'm assuming this is also why people were saying that the gimmick of this generation might have to do with time, whether it means going forward or back a turn. I think that'd be insane to do. Imagine I miss. Imagine I miss and like, nope, rewind, just go again.
Yeah, bro. That would be pretty sick. I also think adding to that, the names of the professors themselves.
Yeah.
Like Sada is taken from pasada, which means is the female thing. The female noun for past in Spanish.
Yes.
And Turo comes from futuro from Spanish. So definitely future. Has to do with that.
Which means future, guys, for those that don't know. So so like this, I agree completely. And then again, it looks more high tech on this guy. This woman obviously looks more cavewoman like, right? Like just the outfits and what she's wearing. So I could definitely see something with whatever their mechanic would be. If they do have a gimmick of this generation, if they don't, cool. If they do, I don't know how I feel about the ability to turn back turns, if that would be the option, guys. What do you guys think about that? I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, imagine me, my only way of beating someone is me praying for, I mean, I hate getting crit and everything too, personally. Like, I hate all that too. But imagine they could take back that turn. You said you think it'll be better?
No, I think it would be different if you could turn it off, if it's just like a mechanic in general, because in Black and White we also had the Wonder Launcher, which you could turn off.
Oh yeah, I used to love using that in the middle of battles.
Max revives.
Yeah, just max potion my Pokemon. When it was in Japanese and I couldn't read it, I would do it, I think I'd throw it at the other people. I don't know how it worked, but I definitely didn't use the right item on me. But
I think it could do with, I don't think you would be able to reset turns. I think it would have to do somehow with the abilities of Pokemon. Like if you turn back time, I don't know if it's like a pre-evolution, you get like certain moves or something like that, or maybe you just like get it like a little bit stronger, like a little bit boosted of an attack.
It could also just be with the lore behind the legendaries, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be things like that, but I don't know, like lore before we had Ultra Beast because of Ultra Bursting and Necrozma, we had things like that. So I don't know, kind of not hoping it's time. We have your new rival right here. She's not good at throwing Pokeballs, but she's a good trainer apparently. And I think that was most of the info that we got. Definitely excited about the games. Again, if you guys want to pre-order, feel free to use my Best Buy affiliate link. Is down below. You support me. I like how both the legendaries look. I am a big fan of Lechonk. Smoliv is okay. Would love for it to be Grass Fire. And any closing words, Edgar? Anything else you want to add?
Lechonk is too good, bro.
Dude, it legitimately is. But yeah, guys, if you do enjoy this, let me know the things if we might have missed. Feel free to leave them down below. And also any video topics you want to see me talk about when it comes to this, because I always get really excited when it comes to the new games. So I might even just end up making videos specifically talking about a Pokemon and what I want out of it. So let me know if you want that. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you, Edgar, for joining me, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.